fighter jets, ghosts, and a Bond villain. Today we're talking about Koenigsegg. So Koenigsegg is kind of a cool little brand. They make high horsepower cars. Right now they have the fastest car confirmed. Confirmed top speed of 330 miles per hour. 330. That is very fast. And the way they usually do it for confirming top speeds on cars is they usually have them go in one direction. I'm not sure if it's for a mile, for 3 miles. I have to look at it and kind of double check. But they have them go in one direction for a certain amount of miles, and then come back the other direction for a certain amount of miles, and then take the average of those two speeds. And they do that just to make sure nobody has some crazy, 40 mile per hour wind at their back, and kind of gives them this crazy advantage. And this isn't the first time they've set a world record for top speed. They set a world record previously. I think it was 2000. Oh, let's see, 2015, 16. I'll put down the actual numbers here after the post. But back then they had a car, the Koenigsegg Agera R, and that one set the world record in Vegas, just outside of Vegas. I'm kind of mad because I was there a day before they did it, and I wish I would have known. I would have stayed and watched it. But anyways, this is the second time they're doing it, and it's interesting that the way they set up their cars, because usually, cars of this caliber are going to be, V10s, V12s, hybrids, stuff like that, crazy stuff like that. But Koenigsegg does it with twin turbo V8s. I think that's pretty interesting, but it's a high horsepower situation, like over 1,500 horsepower for these cars. And they have to do a lot with weight. One of their cars, the 1-to-1, is their whole goal for the car is to make as much horsepower as kilograms that it weighs, which is kind of an interesting thought. And they did it. Everything worked out great. I don't believe it was as fast as their Agera R was. That's meant specifically for basically that top speed run. Basically just a numbers car, but it's cool looking design. And in fact, it's such a distinctive design. I think it looks like a flat nose shovel turned upside down and then kind of molded, if that makes sense. So kind of sleek, but definitely has kind of that flat nose shovel type of look on it. And the way that they built it is going to be all carbon fiber, but they made what they call a monocoque chassis, and that's going to be basically, think of it like you're sitting in a bathtub, and that bathtub is carbon fiber. So instead of having things, kind of bolted, sorry, somebody's trying to pull out. You're sitting more inside of the car, and things are going to be built around you rather than sitting on top of more of like a frame that way. But it's going to be all carbon fiber, and it is fat on the door sills. It's probably, it's at least 8 inches to a foot deep to even get into the car wide. And because of how wide that is, they had to make their own door hinge, because you couldn't just open it up normally or it would then hit the front fender. And you couldn't do a gull wing style to get up and out of the way. So what they did is, instead of doing like a normal scissor Lamborghini style door, they made their own style, and it's going to kick out and then go up. So if you ever see a video of a Koenigsegg opening up its door, it's going to go out and then up. So really cool. But the ghost portion I was talking about earlier, the ghosts. So their new factory, they had an old factory and it burnt down. Their new factory is built on an old Swedish Air Force base, and it has little ghost insignia on it. Most of their cars, you're going to see it behind the driver. it's going to be on the back of their engine cover. A little bit of a ghost. And they do that because they took over the old Swedish Air Force base because their old one burnt down, like I said. But that squadron was called the Ghosts because they would leave at dusk and then they would land before morning. So the locals wouldn't actually see them, they just hear them. So that they call them the Ghosts. So that's kind of cool. Oh, as for the Bond villain, I'm going to put a picture up of Christian von Koenigsegg, but he looks like a Bond villain, which is kind of cool. But he's definitely a car guy, which is exciting. Elon Musk, I feel like he wasn't really a car guy. He just has the money, now he makes cool cars. But I do love Koenigsegg because you could tell that he was a car guy from the beginning, wants to make cool cars, he makes cool cars, and loves it. So there's your quick little history, little synopsis of Koenigsegg. Let me know what you think. Subscribe for more information.